Good evening, everyone. Welcome today for this webinar. We are so excited to have you here. My name is Vivienne Kalaboke. I will be the host today. I work with the advisory team here at XENO Investment. We usually have these calls just to talk about money, how we can plan better for our futures, and just navigate all around my money, all money matters really. So we have these webinars every month, once a month towards the end of the month. We are so excited to have you here today. Today our topic is mastering your money. So we are really trying to understand whether we need more income streams or just really plan better financial planning. Yeah. So we shall just have we are going to talk about all the implications of having multiple income streams, prerequisites, and also engage and learn more about financial planning and how we can better manage our money for the future or at whatever stage we are at investment. I am here with two brilliant people who they're really masters at this. We have Livingstone, Mukasa, and Mary. I will just give them some time to introduce themselves to our friends. I think we can start off with Livingstone. Livingstone, we are so happy to have you. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you, participants today on the webinar. My name is Livingstone Mukasa. I'm the CEO and co-founder for 41 Financial Services, but also for Living Business Education. I'm passionate about helping people make economic progress. I'm an author, published 2 books, The Great Financial Rebuild and Investing for the Future, which were well led, and I appreciate the people that have followed me over the years. I've been an entrepreneur for 20 years, and I'm excited to sharing my experience and my journey to financial freedom. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Livingstone. We are so happy to have you and to hear from you. We look forward to learning so much from you. Thank you. Mary, just tell us a little bit about yourself. We are happy to have you on the call. You're welcome.
Thank you, Vivienne. Please confirm you can hear me.
Yes, we can.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. I'm chartered accountant. I'm with experience in accounting and finance in the bank and oil and gas for the past 15 years, and most recently in the SME world. I am passionate about financial literacy. My mission is to demystify finance for non-finance people. I am glad to be here.
Thank you so much. Welcome, Mary. We look forward to hearing from you and learning a lot today. So we live in a culture today really that encourages us to create or have multiple income streams. It's a culture that is really slowly developing, and people are being encouraged to juggle more than one economic activity. We have seen people have jobs, more than one job, secret jobs, night jobs, getting side gigs, all in the name of having multiple income streams. So in your opinion, is this just, do you think this is because there's a certain type of hype around it being a culture of high productivity, or there are really just socioeconomic forces that are driving the need to have multiple income sources? Because if you look at the cost of living these days, there are very many factors that are driving people. We have the cost of living, we have the COVID incident that opened people's eyes just to create a form of financial stability. We have videos these days on social media, people telling us how to live, how to manage our money, and really the need of financial freedom. So do you think this is because of the hype around it being a culture of high productivity, or it's just a legitimate social economic forces driving this? We can start off with Mary.
Okay. Thank you, Vivian. In my opinion, yes, there are socioeconomic forces that are driving our need to multiply our income sources. Each of us has to deal with black tax. Like we are the only ones that came through. So there's a cow at the end of our rope. Everyone is expecting us for our own. The cost of living has been rising and it's never going down. If you, as an example, when fuel hit 5K, we were all like, my God, no, this is not possible. The government put out a 5K, it reached 9,000. And when it went back, I think it only last. And fuel, for example, in Uganda, this is fuel drives the whatever we used to, what 10,000 used to buy you before, even as recently as 2020, it cannot buy you today. And yet we still need to consume these things. So therefore, we need to make more money. There's also a desired lifestyle. And YOLO, fear of missing out is what is driving millennials downwards or upwards, whichever way you're looking at it. Gen Zs and all of us, we want the good life. And that life does not come cheap. So we need the money to do this. But the biggest of all these, sorry, someone is saying they can't hear me. Vivian, can you hear me?
Yes, you're a bit breaking, so maybe there's an issue with you. Yes.
Okay, I was saying the biggest of these all is the lack of planning for our money. We all seem to aspire to financial independence and financial freedom. What it means for us, because it varies from person to person. So we need to learn to manage our money. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mary. Thank you. Yes, really, the cost of living is really driving people to have so many income sources. We're seeing a lot of businesses starting up these days. Livingstone, would love to hear your take on this.
Well, thank you. The concept of multiple income streams, I think the hype has been driven by people in the financial, with the practitioners, telling people, you know, when you depend on a salary, it can disappear. There is a risk attached to that. And the other driving factor is, I call the Ugandan economy the chakala economy. Now, you might have been born around the 70s and 80s to understand what chakala means. Chakala is a shop where you go and there is sugar, there is a bit of clothes, there is a bit of flour. You're selling so many things because that's the chakala economy. That is driven by the fact that few jobs pay you enough to live on. Now, the financial advisor, I talk to people. Rarely do you find someone above 10 million. But we know that right now in Kampala, to be middle class or anywhere close to having a little bit of income sustenance, you need about 5 million. The average salary is 1 million. So you mean between 5 million for a family and the 1 million that they are earning, there is a huge gap. So people are driven to try and do a bit of chakala, a bit of trading, because what they are earning is not there, it's not enough. And then there is no minimum wage. There's nobody that helps a Ugandan to say, this is how much you need to live on. So the need for, yes, lastly, job security. Job security on this particular one lets people think of multiple sources because many people don't have contracts where they work. We've just seen the parliament working on the Employment Act and trying to say if you have been casual for 6 months, we would want to make you a full-time employee, like they give you benefits. People don't have that job security. So all these, when they tie up together in a small economy that depends on chakala, multiple sources is not only a tool of a desirable tool, it's also actually a necessity for us to survive. Because you don't have one business or one job that can be able to pay you. However, because we've done our job, me and the likes of Mary and most of my friends in the space, people now are beginning to understand that at a certain point, your income will go away. That income that you have, that paycheck that keeps appearing on your income is being sent by somebody. Now, one day it's going to disappear. When it disappears, what will you live on? And then that requires you to start building that multiple income, even before you retire. So multiple income streams are necessary for me, yes. And for me, I have worked on mine. I think I'm a very diverse person as Livingstone. I have money from royalties from my books. I have a bit of commercial property. I have a bit of, there is also another place where people have been smart. Those that know, they know. Like we say in Uganda, when your multiple income can also mean that you have a spouse and a husband that both are working and bringing in money. It's a strategy people have employed. So it's an interesting topic. And as we dig into how this shapes up, what does it mean for each and everyone? I hope it's going to be a little bit more interesting. Everybody just stay tuned. Thank you, Vivian.
Thank you so much, Livingstone. I think the point of job security is really important. A majority of our residents, I would say, have a problem of job security, and thank you for bringing that out. So would you say this, like, diversifying our money can solve all our problems?
Thank you, Vivian. I think it's a smart question and one that I've reflected on. To me, I think diversification is a privilege for the ones that have a bit of more money, a bit of more resources. In the initial beginning, I don't want people to diversify. In fact, I am on the record to tell people that when you are younger, when you are starting out, when you have less, you need to swallow more risk. You need to take on more risk so that you can grow something substantial. And then when you have earned something, then you earn the right to diversify. If you're earning 1 million and you're saving 100,000 a month, yes, you can put money in XENO, you can put money in voluntary savings at NSSF, but literally 100,000 is not going to save you from the troubles that come with our economy. What you need to do is figure out how to trade with the money if you have little. Later on, if you buy a bag of oranges, a bag of matoke, and you multiply your money, and now you're saving 300,000-400,000, maybe you can now start splitting it up. Initially, diversification is a privilege. Later on, as you start to grow, now I am in my mid 40s. I am at a point where diversification is important to me because I don't want to fall apart. But what I am seeing, and what I don't want people to take away from this call, is for them to think that if you are 20-year-old, 25, 30-year-old, you need to go all in onto something. Even if it comes to savings, park all your money in one area where you can see it until it aggregates, so that then you can go to the market and play big time. So I think, as for me, as Livingstone, this is what I see. Diversification is a privilege. It's highly important when you have resources to manage. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Livingstone. Mary, what do you think? Do you think diversifying all our money is a solution to all our problems?
Thank you, Vivian. Confirm if my sound is better.
Yes, it is.
I have changed headphones to see if my sound is better. I agree partially with Livingstone and partially not, because what he describes as going all in, for me, sounds like diversification still. But so I'll first go to my point before I speak to what Livingstone said. So I believe that diversification can only solve part of our problems. It is a partial solution. If you have bad spending habits, there's no amount of diversification that's going to save us. We first need to learn to manage what we have. Then we can have a better plan for diversification, growth, and eventually financial freedom. So I'll give an example of, say, international footballers. They don't need to diversify. They make so much money that I only dream about, but they make this money weekly. And after these people's careers have ended, so such people do not need diversification, because we diversify to increase how much we earn. So if you have enough, if you manage it well, there's no need for you to diversify. I agree with Livingstone on the part of if you're making 100K, diversification is not going to help. You first need to make more before you can be able to say, I put some here, some there. And so the footballers, after they made all that money, when they don't play for, say, 3-5 years, they're broke, they're bankrupt. But that's because they didn't manage the money they had well. They did not need to diversify. If you can take care of your 1 million and divide it properly into how you spend it and plan for your future, then when you get 100 million, you know exactly what to do with it. You're better. So we need to learn to manage our money better. It's like a double-edged coin, a double-faced coin, so to speak.
Thank you so much, Mary. Would like to hear from the audience as well. So some people may say, I have one income stream, none have more. There is just a poll that has been appeared on your screen right now. Would just like to hear from you. How many income streams do you have? Are you someone who says, I have 6 to 8, I have none, I have one income stream? Would just love to hear from you. Just take time to fill in that response, and we'll share the results after the poll. Yeah, moving on. So there are a bit of stats that say medium-sized enterprises account for about 80% of the country's GDP, and 90% of this is the private sector. However, we also know that about 55% as of 2022, these businesses that started in the last 5 years have since closed. So back to you, Livingstone and Mary. What do you think is the impact of blindly pursuing income diversification? Or are there any challenges that come probably with having multiple sources of income? We can start with you, Mary.
Thank you, Vivienne. Like you said, blindly. If you do anything blindly, you have no sight of what you're doing. You're likely to burn your fingers. If you cannot trace how much you make and where it goes because you're not watching, you end up being so busy, and yet your bank account cannot account for your time, for how busy you are. And if you are blindly pursuing diversification, you end up jumping on everything that comes through without doing the proper research. They say crypto, you go. They say forex trading, you go. They say if you get a Rolex stand, you go. You end up with your money in so many things, and because you have not researched what you're doing, you have no information. You have not consulted a person who has done the work before. You end up losing your money. You cannot do anything blindly. And when it comes to things of money, you also cannot do anything quickly. You need to take your time, study what you're putting your money in, and know exactly how long is it going to be in, how much am I going to earn, what are the likely chances of me losing this money, and can I afford to take that loss? If I lost this money, would I die? Would my children continue to go to school? So you need to think about all these things. You cannot pursue income diversification blindly. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mary. I think that's something that we highly overlook, really what comes after getting an extra stream of income. Livingstone, what do you think are the challenges that come with diversifying our money?
So once you have earned the right to diversify, it's actually an interesting thing. So let me first frame this. Initially, we all, in most cases, because we come from a country where there is little inherited wealth, there is little wealth that has been passed over generations. So most of us are making money for the first time. And that means when we're starting out, we're starting with our labor, we're starting with our time. Now, when you add these two, that's what you're saying. And that's what we call risky income. It's the income that could easily disappear. So over time, what you need to move from active income and the income and start gradually diversifying into passive income. So that movement will take years. That movement does not happen overnight. However, if you start moving, you will start seeing that a bit of your passive income
starts appearing on your income stream. And at some point, we need you to see that that passive income has passed your active income. We're not saying you should stop working. So therefore, what you need to do in order to play this game and avoid the risks that come with it is, first and foremost, you need to increase your productivity. People forget we are paid by the value we produce. And in actual sense, we should be paid for more. We should produce more than what we are paid, because that's how the nature of capitalism works. So your productivity is important. I have added on myself, in as much as I don't have so much papers, I have not gone, I don't have a PhD, many people jokingly call me the people's professor. I've added value to myself and my ability to solve problems that I charge per the hour. When I started out, I was getting 70,000 per month. I started at 75,000 per month. Right now, you come to see me for 1 hour, I will charge you 100,000. Now, of course, there is a factor of inflation, but that's 1 hour. You need to add on your productivity. So when you increase your productivity, people will notice. They will still notice, and even your employer will start increasing your pay, because he knows if your productivity goes up, some people are looking and they can be able to pay you. So increase your productivity. There is no use if you earn little, as we have already said. If you already earn little, if you diversify and you still end up with 100,000 here, 100,000 here, 100,000 here, sometimes it's better to concentrate where you can get 4 million and you have a big paycheck that is coming in. So it's not a question of how many incomes I have. It's what am I adding to? Am I managing my lifestyle inflation and my incomes? What do they add to? So that's important. So work on your productivity. And I like what Mary has put into the equation. Everything you attempt has what we call school fees. Now, if you're starting a business, you pay school fees because you are getting into somewhere else. If you're starting, even if you're coming to the financial advisor space, you pay school fees. If you're trying to change a career, you pay school fees. Everything has school fees. Are you ready to pay for the school fees of learning the lesson that you need to be able to function? So right now, I'm at a stage where I choose my words very carefully. Just because you can add me an extra 1 million doesn't mean I should wake up and come and talk to you. There are some places, there are some wars that are not worth fighting. So now I pick my wars. When you become more productive, you get choice in which areas you can be able to put your energy and be able to try and produce an income. I think that's my take on this. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Livingstone. I think it's really important to actually have a brief, not even a brief, like detailed information about what we are getting into. So I think that's really true, the school fees part. I'm seeing a few questions coming in. We shall have time to answer that during the Q&A session just in a bit. So what would you think are the prerequisites of starting a business? Because some of us have got our fingers burned just because we didn't put a lot of thought into starting the business. Personally, I have tried to start a business, but I think because I did not know the requirements that I needed before going into the business, it's not something that's really played out the way it was supposed to be. So what do you think are those requirements or prerequisites that we need before starting a business or investing in an additional income source? We can start with Mary.
All right, thank you, Vivian. So investment is simply putting your money to use to allow it to grow. Yeah, so you earn, you save, you spend, you invest. But before you invest, I talked briefly about this earlier. Before you invest, you need to determine what kind of investor you are. Because we have been told, oh, everyone needs to have a side hustle. There are people who cannot manage a side hustle. Know this and know peace. You will know that for me, I cannot run a business, I cannot supervise. There are people who will do this on your behalf, get your money and put it there. So know who you are as a person. There are some people who are risk takers, and early adopters usually earn quickly. Even if it's a thing that's going to fall, usually the people who go in fast get the money. If you come and you're a laggard, you come late, you join the business, you lose your money. So you need to know who you are. Then how much do you expect to earn from this business, from this investment? I don't know, you want to say buy treasury bills, but you want to earn 20% interest. They don't give that kind of interest. So how much do you want to earn so you know where to put the money? How long do you want to keep this money away? Our investment goals should be divided into short-term, mid-term, and long-term. This is on the background of you know exactly what you want, what your financial goals are, and how much you want in what period. I keep saying this is not something we can delegate to someone to do for us. We can sit with a professional and they take us through all these to help us come up with this is what Livingstone is saying. He'll charge you an hour for. You will go to him, you will discuss, but he needs to also understand the kind of person you are. When you go to XENO and you tell them what kind of saver you are, how much risk you can take, that also determines where they're going to put your money. So you need to know as a person what your risk profile is. Then how long do you intend to keep this money away? There are people who bought shares in MTN and dividends came and they were like, oh my God, how did they give us this little money? Did you find out where you are putting your money and what kind of investment stocks are? Because that's supposed to be a long-term investment, but you want money in the next year. That those two, your goals and the investment category you chose do not match. Then since we are talking diversification, how does this investment, assuming you already have, you have a salary, I don't know what else you have, but how does it fit in your asset mix? Are you putting all your things in the same line of income, or are you increasing risk a little? But some of these things you may not be able to do on your own. Talk to people who can do this for you. But yeah, I think basically that's it for me. Also, what's the cost to buy, hold, and sell the investment? I know someone who retired and got their pension. You know, when you work for a good company, when you retire, you get pension. And then they bought 4 pieces of land in Hoima. And so they stayed without the money to run every day. And in your retirement, the salary is no longer coming. So the cost to sell that, they've been trying to dispose of one of those pieces of land, and it's been almost impossible. But what that means is they're old, asset rich, and cash poor. Yet when you're old, you need cash. And so you need to study properly the cost of buying the asset and eventually disposing it off. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mary. That was very insightful. I think it's actually really important that we actually know our strengths. Some of us go into business thinking we can handle it. It's not really our strength. So thank you so much for pointing that out. Over to you, Livingstone. What do you think are those things that we need to know just before starting out a business or investing in multiple income sources?
So thank you, Vivian, and Mary. Thank you for highlighting what you have produced. I did put out a tweet. I think it was the other day, and I was talking about how risk, fear of failure makes us numb, and we are unable to actually take action. But also, if we are too optimistic, we also become blinded to the reality, and we can invest in places where we're likely to lose our money. So you need a balanced sense of this lens for you to actually function in the business setting. But that said, what is important is you have to understand that business respects no one. You go in, I have been doing business for 20 years. And there are places when I have done well, and there are places when I have burnt my fingers. I remember doing an investment in Lina on Chile, and I lost 40 million. Even with all the controls I had put in place, I found out that the farmers don't respect farming contracts. Those that you say, I'll buy your products when they produce them. I lost my money. So even at my stage, I'm still very careful because, like I said, it respects no one. So when you go into a business, go in when you are playing your strength. You are playing your strong hand. You are minimizing your risks. Now that's why we have the concept of finding a co-founder. That if you are strong in marketing, you find someone strong in accounting so that you complement each other. That's a smart way to actually approach that. Then you're going to have a consumer. You're going to have a market where you're selling your products and services. Without a consumer, there is no business. So
does the people, are they ready to pay for what you are producing, for what you are consuming, for the service you're bringing to the market, for that book that you're writing? Like I normally tell people, if you want to write a book, you must be able to sell 100 copies without subsidy. You have to sell 100 copies without subsidy. If you just going to give them away, that's not a business. So is there a market for what you're producing? If you find a market, even if it's a small community, it's a niche, you can be able to go about that. Remember, as Mary has said, you're going to have to put in, you put in and sell it for more than it costs you to put in. Unit economics, this is one. If you're writing this, just write unit economics. If the unit economics don't make sense per unit, you'll never make money even if you sell volumes. So that way, what you need to concentrate on is to make sure that your unit economics are actually making. Then, again, know who you are. Play your strengths. Because when you play your strengths, people will know when you are doing something that you love. When I stand up to do a class, people understand that I am passionate about what I'm doing. Because I know, for me, my driver is not actually that I need to make money from the classes or from the training that I do. I'm passionate because I hate poverty with a passion. I don't want to be poor myself, and I'm trying to help somebody not to be poor. So that, for me, poverty is a defining factor. And that's what makes me a little bit sometimes agitated and passionate about what I do. And therefore, what we need to understand is that your business, your personality can be your business. Now, I actually studied marketing by coincidence. I didn't know because I wanted to go and study economics in Makerere, but I didn't get admitted on a government sponsorship. And so I went to Nakawa, which now became Makerere University Business School. And I took the best course that they had. But I found out that marketing is me. I love people, I love to explain, I love to write, I can explain concepts. So your personality needs to be able to gel. If you're working in a salon and you don't know, you're in a salon, but you don't like fashion, you're actually looking like you like to look, man, you'll not be able to sell those particular services that you have. And therefore, it's also important to find a mentor. There is a gentleman that has been my mentor. Incidentally, he's not in Uganda and he lives in California. That guy understands me. I am a very hard nut. I think I'm smart. Yes, I am. But few people they struggle to understand Livingstone and the concepts and the weird thinking that sometimes I do. But he understands me. So I want to share an example here because people relate to examples. I went to him when I was starting my retirement plan. And I told him, his name is Robert. I said, Rob, I want to be able to build the first informal sector scheme, pension scheme in Uganda. And he said, Livingstone, that's a hard nut. But you do it. If you do it, remember, if it doesn't work out, remember to become famous while you are doing it. Now, that thing stuck in my mind because he said, even if it doesn't work out and you become famous, you still make money. So that was his way of looking at things. So find a mentor, find a coach, talk to people that understand you, that can challenge you, that can challenge your thinking. Two more things. The second last one is ability to scale. I don't want to touch something that will not scale. A chapati store is good, but for me, if they won't turn into 100, I don't want to touch it. I need something that can scale. I need something that has a multiplier. I need something where I can build systems and it can start running. It is tough, but if it won't scale, I don't want to touch it. Look at the scale. Can it become a billion? Can you do $1 billion Uganda shillings from that business? If not, where does it lead you? That's the second last. The last one is the ability to raise capital. You are not going to be able to have all the money you need to start a business. In fact, it's likely that if you only use your own money, it's a small idea. You need to be able to go out and pitch. Now I know your CEO, and I remember what he started out. XENO would not be XENO if it didn't have the ability and a leader that can go and pitch for funding and be able to raise more capital. It is important these days and modern age not to just look in the money in your pocket. Some of us are blessed with ideas, others are blessed with capital. We need to find a marketplace where ideas meet capital. So can you raise? Can you sell? Can you be able to influence people to join you? Create a movement. Thank you.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much, Livingstone. We have results from our poll that was shared earlier. We have about 46% of our audience saying they have one extra source of income. We have about 39% saying they have 2, 15%, 3 to 5, and then 0% having 5 to 7 income sources. So just to to look at something that is highly overlooked by the public. That is something we call financial planning and management. Just to dive into this, Livingstone and Mary, what do you think it is exactly? What do you think financial planning and management is, and how is it important, especially how it relates to what we earn? Mary, would love to hear from you on this.
Thank you. So personal financial planning, this and management, this is something I'm really passionate about because it starts with us. Before we can plan for anyone else, it starts with us. Before we can plan for the companies we work for and everyone, and even the country. So personal financial management is planning and keeping track of your incomes and expenses using a budget. It's not letting your money surprise you. It's you not saying, like it's being on top of your money game. It involves setting financial goals. Financial goals are just your money objectives. What do you want? When you wake up every day to say, I'm going to work, what does that mean exactly? Tunonya sente, how much? If you got $1 million today, would you run mad? Would you know where to put it? It's like, you know exactly how, when I wake up to go to work, this is what I am looking for money. In 1 year, I want to do this. In 2 years, I want to do this. In 10, in 20, in 30, I want to be retired. What does retirement look like to you? What does financial freedom look like? Is it a holiday every day? Is it like, it's not letting your money surprise you. You plan properly for what it is. And simple tools, you use a budget. This is how much I make. This is how much I spend. Do you spend more than you earn? How? Are you a magician? That only means you're highly indebted. What loans do you have? How many are you servicing that can go? Have you borrowed from everyone around you? You started calling your high school classmates you last talked to 10 years ago because no one can still give you money. So it's something, personal financial management is just us being on top of our money, managing our money well. So when we set our financial goals, and this is not something you come up with today and you know, but if you're intentional, like any other goal, you can be able to know exactly how much money. When someone comes and gives you $1 million, you're like, oh no, I intend to do this. I want to build this business. I have done this research. This is how much investment I need. I want to buy a piece of land here. This is what I want to set up on it. And you won't run mad. You won't win a lottery and go broke in a few months because you blew all the money you thought it was too much. If you've never expressed your goals in terms of how much money then you actually need to achieve them, you will have that problem where you're like, oh my God, $1 million is a lot of money. It's 3.7 billion shillings. It is a lot of money. But if you have actual financial goals, you can see that you can fit that money in things, in places. So personal financial management, you need to figure out how much money you need as a person. Figure out how much you earn and how much you spend. Determine the cost of your goals. That's you figuring out how much you need. Decide how much to save, how to pay off your debt, and how much to invest. Then decide on the timing of these goals. So on when you earn, and every financial literacy trainer will give you a different formula, so to speak, of how to manage, how to spend after you've earned. And that's why you need to tailor this to yourself. Because I'll tell you, when you earn, you need to save first, then pay your debt, no matter how little. Make sure every time you earn, a percentage of that money goes to paying off your debt. After you paid your debt, pay for your needs and pay for your wants after that. If you don't include wants in there, you're going to one day get all the money you saved and just go and blow it on, I don't know, boys to men will come and then you'll go and pay for the corporate table. Because, I mean, so you need to plan it very well. So some people will tell you need to tithe first, save, pay for your needs, and then pay for your wants. So you need to sit with yourself and agree how this is going to work for you. And this is not dependent on how much money you are making, because you need to study how much you have now and know how much you need such as you can go back to, okay, how do I earn more? Or how do I spend less? Sometimes you might find you only need to manage your spending. You're earning enough money, you're just spending it wrongly. So personal financial management is that's what it is. A budget is the most important tool in this. And there are online apps that can help you do this right now. The BOU Financial Literacy website, it's called Simplify Money. On Simplify Money, there's a calculator for a monthly budget that you can use. The tools are there. In this digital economy, if you're able to log into this Zoom call, you're able to get an app to help you with your personal financial management. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mary. Livingstone, what do you think, in your own words, is financial management and how important is it?
Thank you very much. So reflecting on this, I actually found something interesting. I realized that there are people that were taken care of by their parents. They went through the university and someone paid for them. They always had someone sending them some pocket money. Literally, they went through the university, went back home and got a job. And for the next 30 years, someone is sending them a paycheck. After 30 years, then finally, one day the company says, you are retired, you need to take care of yourself. Literally for 55 years of their lives, someone took care of them. Now, so as we look at financial planning, we need to first agree that you're going to manage yourself. It is not your employer's responsibility. It's not your mom or your dad or your wife or your husband. You need to take care of your money. So the first concept we need to understand here, it is that you are managing your money. And what do we do? What are the key numbers? What are the key parameters? What are the goalposts that we need to look at here? For me, as a married man with children, school-going children, it starts by having a family you can afford. Now, I know there are young people on the call here, but if you're gonna have to manage your money, this word of having kids is past. Start by planning your family and have a family you can manage. That also includes when you're going to marry, you marry with your brains, not just with the heart beating. That's not the way I look at things. Financial management requires you that if you're making lifetime goals, you bring your brain power to the equation. And once you have that home, learn an efficient home. A home is a debt incurring instrument. If people play with the power, they play with the water, they drink non-cooked water, and they are wasteful. Financial planning at the home level, people that make economic progress, as I call it, are efficient at home. They learn an efficient home. Teach your children, teach your wife. If there is leaking at home, even if you make a lot of money, they will be able to waste it. So you learn an efficient home. Then the other one is that at a certain point in queue, you always need to stay below your income. If there is something that I have taught this country and I want people to believe is live below your money, live below your means. I don't care if you have made $1 million, live below. I don't care if you made 5 million, live below. In fact, the ultimate goal is to live at 50%. That means you get to a point when you freeze your expenditure. Let's say you make 5 million, freeze your expenditure at 3 million, invest the 5 million. That is the kind you avoid lifetime creep. I drive a Noah, and people usually say the man with the black Noah has come. But my point is that maybe I could buy a TX. But the TX, just the tire alone, by the time you have bought four tires for a TX, you have bought a Toyota Corolla. So you need to be aware. So I am trying to say, okay, does the Noah go where the TX can go? Maybe 95% of the time it will go there. You might not buy the TX. So lifestyle creep is important. I normally ask people, why do you drive 3,000 cc's to work in someone's company? You are sitting in a car that has 3,000 cc's to work. Are you too heavy? Man, are you carrying globes? Come on. These are typical questions we need to talk about when we're talking about financial planning. You're not too heavy. So therefore, if you're working somewhere, don't go above 2,000 cc. Come on, you can still carry 8 people on 2,000 cc if you're driving a Noah. So point is, so when we look at that, Mary has talked about retirement planning. I'll skip that. We have almost its own course. But what I have found, if you don't like retirement planning, you think it's too far away, financial freedom is something that you can pursue. When you pursue financial freedom, you actually become retirement ready in the process. And financial freedom for me is when you look at your monthly expenditure, the total expenditure that you are running in your home, or to be able to where you are now. If you don't know what you are spending, just look at your salary, multiply it by 150. If you are earning 2 million shillings and you spend it all, multiply it by 150. 150 is a constant. It also means 12 and a half years worth of savings. And that would give you the number that you need to be able to replace your income. And that's the number you should be able to retire on. So I have done this calculus and it works. When you invest, you come to XENO and give them 300 million, they will sure give you more than 2 million every month for the rest of your life. So that's what financial freedom for me it is. It is the ability to be able to earn and family. So a good financial plan, a good financial management plan will always result in financial freedom. So I want you to be, this is important. I want you to be calm with money. I want you to be comfortable when you have 1 million shillings on your account and you don't have any urge to spend it. Because if you're not comfortable with 1 million shillings, one day they will make a mistake and send 100 million of your retirement money to your account. Yet you are the guy that is not comfortable leaving 3 million shillings on the account. Guess what will happen? It will say, ooh, and then it will, it's always a game of up and down. So you need to be calm with money. Many people, you try to give someone 1 million. If you want to seek a video, a reality show, get 5 people, give them 1 million shillings each and send them downtown. And you see how they behave with the camera behind. People will keep changing the 1 million from one pocket to another. People are not comfortable with money. It seems like we don't have good relationship with money. I think I've done a show somewhere else where I talked about relationships with money. That if every one of us has a relationship with money, it could be bad, it could be good, or it could be productive, it could be not productive. So what is your relationship with money? And therefore, I want to summarize a good financial plan. A good financial plan is, it increases assets. The difference between the poor and the rich is one word, assets. They have things, by name into every car. They have things they have bought over time that separate them from the poor. So you are poor if you don't have assets that you have bought. So in addition to, you don't have, there is no land title in your name, there is no car in your name. Literally, you are walking, there is nothing that bears your name, except perhaps the marriage certificate. Oh my God. I hope I'm not married to someone like that. I made a good bet on that. Therefore, you increase your assets over time, minimize your liabilities, and as you do, make a date with yourself never to borrow for consumption. Do not borrow for consumption. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Livingstone. This has been a very, very insightful conversation. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Livingstone. There are a few questions that have come in that are addressed. I will just read them to you so that we can just answer a few of these questions. There is one, this is to Livingstone. It says, if you were to be my mentor, what would you expect from me? What is the cost of you being my mentor? So I think I'll leave Livingstone to answer this, to respond to this before we can move on to the next question.
Thank you, Mary, and thank you for the viewers and the participants. I am a mentor at large. The first thing you do, follow me up. I am always, if I have something to say, I will say it. It will either be on my Facebook page, on my Twitter, or my LinkedIn, and they still bear my name. So you could say I'm a mentor at large. But if you want to come and see me, you just make an appointment. As long as you have an appointment, I'll see you. Sometimes there are those, if you have a specific question, you will get charged. But it's not about just the money. I might also point why I want to declare at least my goal was always to do this work when I'm financially independent, meaning I could survive on my assets, which happened last year. So I can do what I want to do. I choose my words. If you know, that's what I have found about wealth and about building financial muscle. You get to a point where you have choice. Literally, wealth and choice are the same. If I fail to mention that along the way, but glad reach out. We can see what we can. But you need to know what you're after. People like us have less time to waste. If you don't know what you're pursuing, we are tough people.
Okay, thank you so much. Mary, how this is from, okay, there is no name, but this person says, how best can one have a better financial plan that allows them to invest?
I think we have both indirectly answered that question with the last submission. You need, when you have a good relationship with money, when you know it, I cannot give you a financial plan. What do you want? There are people who want to have 10 billion, there are people who will be okay with 10 million, what do you want? After you've established what you want, how much do you earn? How much of that do you spend? So then you know how much you need to save and in how long it's going to take you to get to where you want to go. So you have to sit. I keep saying, even if you hate numbers and math was your subject in school, please love the math of money. Sit down and do the math of money. How much do you want? Because otherwise you will just go through life very unintended, unintentional. You will be poor by surprise, rich by surprise. You're not in control. So planning starts with you. You have to sit down and do the work yourself. We can guide, we can give you guidelines, templates. You have to fill them in yourself. That's why Livingstone says, if you're coming, know what you want. That's the first step. What do you want? Then we can work towards how we get there. We can advise, if you put money here, you earn 10%, here 15, here 17. But where you earn 17, you'll probably, the higher the risk, the higher the reward. The businesses that will give you 30%, you're likely to lose the money. So how much of your money are you going to put there? So it is a process that starts with you.
Thank you so much, Mary. We have another question from an anonymous person. Livingstone, this is to you. I'm seeking guidance. When does one decide to spend on themselves? For example, how do you strike a balance between investing, saving, and spending? Like you said, I personally have no inherited projects and I feel I need to really invest in assets. However, I have situations where I surely need a car because I've been called abruptly and need to move fast. But I can't find money to buy a car because I'm always investing in land. Otherwise, thanks so much for this platform.
It's a good one. The balance between having some fun, the balance between when is it a good time to take a holiday, when is a good time to upgrade the car. It's always an interesting bind, but the rule of thumb, and this is internationally recognized, the rule of thumb is that don't send your money from your labor and time to buy fancy or can I say fancy or a lifetime, those expenditures. Use your investment. Now, let me first say this in Luganda and I would go back in English for some people. Sente tezagala kuziria, zokoze zomusala, do not toziria. But when you have made money, invest the money, the profits that come off that investments are good to be eaten. Money hates to be eaten, but it loves people that eat its own children. So that's the game you play. Invest. So when I want to do a holiday, and I usually don't announce my holidays because I tend to be, there is a part of me that is private. I like to, but if I'm going to do a holiday, I make sure that, okay, the air ticket is paid for by some of our investment that we've made. That way, I don't have to feel guilty. If I'm buying a car, I need paid all cash. How can I drive a car that has a loan? I wonder how people drive in Uganda. You drive a car with a loan for 2 years. With all our potholes, every time you hit a pothole in the car with loans, do you know how that feels? Okay. So, but that's the rule. Invest the money, eat from the profits that come out of. Take the 10 million from XENO, give them the investment. Then after the year, they give you 1 million. Please chew it quietly and comfortably. Don't eat the 10 million that came from your labor. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Livingstone. Mary, there is a question from Tony. He says, as a youth in my late 20s, would unit trust be a commendable stream of income other than using it to save for investment?
Unit trusts themselves are an investment. They are a safe investment. These insurance companies come together, collect money, put it together, and invest it in different things, and they pay you an interest. So unit trusts themselves are an investment. My advice would not be based on age. My advice is based on your risk appetite. If you're a self-investor, then yes, you can do unit trust. If you want a bit more risk, then you can do more risky businesses. Also, unit trust, if you need to access your money very quickly, which if you're trying to invest, I don't think should be the case. But unit trust will work if you need to access the money, because some companies in 24, 48 hours, you can have your money back. But also because of the ease with which you can get the money, it limits where they can invest them. They can invest it. They will also invest it in things when they promise you will give it to you in 48 hours and you don't have it, you're going to go and cause a whole Twitter storm how you didn't get your money in 48 hours. So they have to keep it in cash and cash equivalent. They can't put it in more risky investments. So unit trusts work if you're a self-investor.
Okay, thank you so much, Mary. Livingstone, there is a question from Tony here to you. So he says, I would like Livingstone, the people's professor, to kindly speak more on how to handle the asset rich and cash poor phenomenon that Mary hinted on.
That question is not very clear. Maybe he's wondering which assets to invest in. Do I get that right?
So the question says there is a phenomenon that Mary hinted on. It's called asset rich and cash poor.
Oh,
so he wanted me to talk more about it. Yeah.
Now, I know there are people that have not heard me speak here, so I'm going to use an example, a sad story that happened to one of my friends. And this was a guy that had land in somewhere outside of Wachiso and some land near Rugowa. And his total net worth was about 600 million. But he was struck with a bill of 700,000. He was about 48, 49, and he couldn't pay it and he died. He was rich, but he was poor. He didn't have the cash flow. So we always play that game of having cash that you can live on. And when you buy assets, you need to have prioritized assets that have a cash flow component. Obviously, not all of them. For example, rentals are good for cash flow. Now people have a lot of negative views about them. They have good cash flow. Treasury bills have good cash flow. So, but at a certain point in life, if you have a solid income, your paycheck is coming right on time, then you cannot prioritize cash flow, because every time you prioritize cash flow, you're going to lower the return. So what are you investing for? They are part of the investment that I have bets that are out 10, 15 years in the future. There are those that I have that need to give me cash flow. What we simply do is always align the investment to our needs. The case in point, if you have a rental and you have a school fees bill, these two go hand in hand. The rental produces monthly, the school fees is every 3 months. So that means the investment can easily take care of. In fact, for me, I say the best insurance you can have for your kids' education is in Kampala, because the average school fees is about 1.5 and you have a room for 300. That could match. So you always balance your investments. However, the key thing to remember about managing cash flow is to create an emergency savings fund. And an emergency savings fund makes sure that you will never need money beyond, like you save money for 3 months worth of your living expenses for 6 months, put that money in your unit trust, put it with XENO where it can be called out very quickly. And then you can actually be able to learn on that if you have an emergency. However, don't just have money, because actually there's a counter. Part of my clients that I've dealt with have another problem. They love cash, especially ladies. They keep piling cash on their account. Every time the salary comes in, it adds on, and they feel like they go home and they feel like it has done them. So you wake up one day and this lady is sitting on 120 million. She's afraid to invest, can't take it. So that's also not bad because cash is a depreciating asset. So build an emergency fund. If you don't have an emergency fund, I tell you how to build it. Some of you that follow me have already written about it. Start by saving money to survive one day. When you have money for one day, then target for 1 week. When you have 1 week, target for 1 month until you have 3 to 6 months. And then go out and invest like a pro because you are not going to be to have a need for cash. If it happens, you know where to run. Can you imagine if you needed 1 million or 2? You do have to call friends and call a meeting to mobilize for you 3 million shillings. Okay. If I go any further, you need an emergency fund. Thank you.
Thank you so much. This is a very interesting conversation, and we can go on and on and on. But you can reach any of our speakers. We have Livingstone. His Twitter handle is at Mukasa Mulia, and then Mary's Twitter handle is at Matama. You can reach them at any time and just engage with them, learn more from them. You can create a build wealth goal with XENO today that allows you to save smartly as well for your future goals. You can start diversifying now, really. So these webinars happen every month. You'll be able to get a recording as well on our YouTube channel. Please check them out, share with your friends. You can follow us on Twitter at XENO Uganda, Instagram at XENO Investments, or connect with us on Facebook and LinkedIn. You can also visit us on our website, that is myxeno.com, book a one-on-one session with an advisor. And then we also have articles on our website just talking about goal-based investment, unit trust, and so many other things. Thank you so much all for joining us today. I'm so happy that you took time. Please look out for the survey. There is a survey that will be shared in your emails. Please look out, feel free to fill out the survey, and we look forward to your feedback. Thank you so much and have a good evening. We are just going to have Livingstone, just a few remarks from you before we drop off the call. Today, your final remarks, just, yeah.
Thank you, and I want to thank everybody that was able to join us today. If I have offended you, the truth sometimes hurts. I'm sorry. We need to say it as it is. We still a growing, developing country, and we need to build assets, and we need to wake up to the reality that nobody is going to send us money. The government is not here to be able to look after you. So I like people to be responsible with their money. I try to live, I practice what I preach. I try to be an example. Sometimes we fail, sometimes we wake up, but just go and concentrate on making sure that you can leave some assets for your children. You can leave the world a better place. Don't leave us debts. Have a good evening.
Thank you so much. Mary, any take homes from today's session?
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for everyone who was able to join us today. What I can say, I don't know. It's never too late to start. You're not too far gone. If you get a formula and live by it and review and adjust according to what your plans are, it's possible. Financial freedom is possible for all of us. And if we plan and respect our money and live according to the plans we have set, we will all be able to retire to the lifestyle that we want, and we will cut the burden of black tax. If you're paying for your parents' bills, medical bills today, plan to make sure that your children do not have to pay for your bills. Plan for it, save for it, invest, grow your money, and you will live a better life. You will be proud of yourself for what you've been able to achieve as regards money. It's possible for all of us. Just start.
Thank you so much, Mary. Thank you so much, Livingstone. This has been a very insightful conversation. Thank you for all your thoughts and just picking your brain. Thank you to all that managed to join us today. We look forward to seeing you for our next webinar. These webinars usually happen every month. and we just get to talk about money and just everything money, really, planning for your future, financial stability, and so on. Thank you so much, everyone, and I wish you a great night.